world's influencer. Carlos was just 15 when he died of leukemia in Milan in 2006. Pope Leo also canonized another popular Italian figure who died young, Pier Giorgio Frassati. A normally joyful parade in Chicago marking Mexican Independence Day was a bit of a quiet and nervous affair amid President Trump's deportations. This woman did attend.
It is a concern every day going out the house and being with my family or my friends.
Volunteers were on the lookout for federal agents. They wore whistles to send warnings if immigration officials showed up. The MTV Video Music Awards are on tap tonight at New York's UBS Arena. CBS's Matt Wolf has this preview.
The title for the most ever VMA wins could be decided tonight between Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Both are up for Artist of the Year and both deadlocked at 30 career VMAs each. But Lady Gaga leads the pack with 12 nominations, and she'll perform. Aerosmith's Steven Tyler and Joe Perry will lead an all-star tribute to the late Ozzy Osbourne.
This is CBS.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Oregon is considering charging electric vehicle owners for every mile they drive. CBS's Stephen Kaufman has the story.
As gas tax projections fall in Oregon, state lawmakers are considering a proposal that would mandate a pay-per-mile fee or an annual flat fee for EV owners.
On its face, it's a sound proposal. When you dig deeper, the core idea is missing the mark because this proposal also makes driving, compared to gas-powered vehicles, one of the most expensive ways to drive.
Christopher Fortin Grijalva with the Oregon Environmental Council.
With this new road usage charge to pay per mile, the charge itself makes it equivalent if you were to be driving a pickup truck.
The proposal calls for expanding fees to hybrids at a later date. Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
Gas taxes help states pay for road repairs and other infrastructure projects. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over, and you want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV for a price you can afford. Because at Philo, we're TV fans too. Head to philo.tv/Andrew to start a free trial and see for yourself. That's philo.tv/Andrew.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a fall preview with cool conditions, very low humidity, and plenty of sunshine with a high of 68, followed by a clear and cold night tonight, low 43. That leads into the start of a warming trend tomorrow with plenty of sun and a high of 72, with sunshine and a bit warmer weather for Tuesday, high 76. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
Here we go. If you're from Pittsburgh, you can't say that without hearing in your head Steelers. Here we go. We have the 70s to thank for that. Those old enough to remember the energy crisis with mile-long lines to get gas, double-digit inflation, and the collapse of the steel industry. They also remember the immaculate reception and 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers were a life raft for our city that had its guts ripped out when all the steel-related jobs evaporated. Every displaced Pittsburgher became an even more devout fan. Every city has at least one Steeler bar, including Rome, and most have multiple. Those same fans take over stadiums all over the country when the black and gold is in town. We're from the town with that great football team, and while we may criticize them when they're not winning playoff games, you better be careful. Just go lay your hand on a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I think you'll finally understand. It all starts Sunday. Here we go.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
And that's where we begin today. Football, Sunday, Steelers at the Jets, and we will be talking all about it and picking our weekly winners against the spread. Beginning right after that local news at 11, it's another edition of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Well, a deadline deal. Steelers' Cam Hayward reached agreement last night on a revised deal that will add over $3 million in incentives this year and allow him to earn maybe as much as $18 million. So when it's the first game of the season, not only do you have your boss and editorial talking about the black and gold, but you also begin your program talking about the black and gold. And I want to talk about Cam Hayward. He is a throwback. The former first-round pick out of Ohio State is really kind of reminiscent of that steel curtain. Names like Joe Green, Ernie Holmes, Dwight White, John Banaszak, L.C. Greenwood. Steelers for life. You know, I have been a fan of the Steelers for life going back to the 60s, even before Chuck Noll came here, when we were all running around the neighborhood wearing our Steelers gear that was black and white, and stars like Andy Russell were the autographs that we seeked. Yes, and then they would eventually have Chuck Noll, Joe Green become the Steel Curtain, Super Bowl winning team, and of course the black and gold, and here we go. But because of free agency and things being a little bit different in the NFL, players, sometimes your favorites don't necessarily end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers for life. But one thing is for sure, no other place would Cam Hayward ever be better suited than right here in Pittsburgh, because he will have a long post-football life, and it will be celebrated right here in Pittsburgh because his brand is who we are. Steelers and black and gold fans for life. The big fella, hard to believe he is in that twilight of his career, and I'm glad that the Rooney organization, Omar Khan, the coach, Mr. Rooney II, put ink to paper and pen, and were able to get this thing done. You know, Cam Hayward is everything that's good with football. He is a football player through and through, and in some circles simply known as Cam. His father, a fan favorite, including me during his days at the University of Pittsburgh, and his brother has the football IQ, and he's not just on this team, Connor, because of his namesake. He is a player that the Steelers will count on before the season is over. But it's not just about what goes on the field. It's the business matrix. It's the groceries at Coons Market. It's all of the delicious treats, the ice-cold brew, and gathering of family and friends. And whether it be at that Steelers bar in Rome or right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or in your own home, there's nothing quite like football season, and I'm so glad it's back. So in the immortal words that have been a part of our life since the 1970s, here we go. All right, now I want to talk about the president. President Trump appeared to once again threaten sending troops to Chicago for widespread immigration and crime crackdown, similar to that seen in Los Angeles when the National Guard recently was deployed there. I have been hearing all of the pundits pushing back on the president for doing this. And even so much as kind of saying, if you're a police officer, you should feel pretty bad right now because the president doesn't believe in you. And I heard that from Bill Maher. Bill Maher is one of the most incredibly known pundits in the world of politics and doing what he has been doing for decades on HBO. And I am a fan, right? But I just want to have a chance to counter what he had to say. I think that police officers are highly underrated and not appreciated, and has nothing to do with the president, but it has everything to do with the people of the United States of America. If they respected them, they wouldn't be using their phones at a arrest or a crime scene, trying to flip it in many cases to make the men and women of the law enforcement in this country look bad. And because of governments and other administrations, and not this one, where they didn't really take the time to appreciate the men and women of law enforcement, the defunding of police became an epidemic in this country, and we're feeling it everywhere. And so much so that it's been a tough road for everybody of law enforcement. Nobody seems to want to buy into becoming a future member of law enforcement. So with all due respect to Mr. Maher, who, again, I have a lot of respect for and will have a career that I will never even come close to, I think the president is doing this because he cares about law enforcement. He wants to protect them. He wants to give them an opportunity to have a fair fight and to fight back. Because when you look at the numbers of crime and the criminal element in and around the country from sea to shining sea, the average law-abiding citizen and members of law enforcement are being outnumbered and outgunned. So, if the only way to curtail it and make the streets safe again, not just for the citizenship of some of the major cities in this country, but definitely for members of law enforcement. One thing about President Donald Trump, whether it was that first term years ago or where he is now, no one has shown more respect for the men and women in uniform, whether it be in our military or those fighting to, well, serve and protect us every day from the criminal element, meaning law enforcement. So this is one person that simply says, I understand why the president's doing it, and we may be seeing more of it. And those boots on the ground could actually end up in Pittsburgh one day. And I can tell you, if they do, from Stanwyck Street to Penn Avenue to Liberty Avenue, from the south side to the north side to the Hill District, and everywhere in between, people in Pittsburgh will feel a whole lot safer because somebody will have their back. And I believe no one will feel more safe than the men and women of the incredible Pittsburgh Police Department, who need us to support and praise them. Anyway, a couple of good thoughts to begin our Sunday. If you want to jump in here, phones are already blowing up. I'll get to you, I promise. Just stay where you're at, 866-391-1020. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA or on that Odyssey app, AUDACY. But you can also watch us online with our KDKA video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to KDKRadio.com and click on Watch KDKA Radio Livestream. Or now you can just go to our KDKA Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in studio. Now, you can call me now at 866-391-1020, or NASCO Roofing. Instant access to our shows is a click away. Email us at instantaccess@KDKA. We'll give you a quick rundown on sports. We had a big high school game from Canton, Ohio here yesterday. Central Catholic, Woodland Hills, Pitt, Duquesne, West Virginia, Robert Morris. All of them saw action, and it was a big day at the U.S. Open. More on the courts coming up at Arthur Ashe Stadium later today. So we're going to cover all of that in sports, and then we'll get back to take your calls. It's a Sunday morning with your Pratt Pack on KDKA. Good morning.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. School football yesterday, the Central Catholic Vikings take down the Woodland Hill Wolverines 58-20 at the Pro Football Hall of Fame School Classic game, heard, of course, here on KDK Radio. A deadline deal. Steelers' Cam Hayward reached agreement last night on a revised deal that will add over $3 million in incentives this year and could allow him to earn up as much as $18 million. Steelers kick off the season today at the Jets, where they are a 3-point favorite. It was the University of Pittsburgh Panthers getting 3 touchdown passes from Eli Holstein, and they won by 28 points, 45-17 over Central Michigan. Penn State over Florida International 34-0. Ohio State shut out Grambling 70-0. West Virginia lost to Ohio University 17-10. Robert Morris lost to YSU 56-17, and Duquesne beat Lincoln University 55-14. Jerry Schmidt of the Dukes today at 11:30 on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Pirates lost yesterday to Milwaukee 4-1. 2 teams again today, 135-93-7. The Fans. World number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, won the U.S. Open yesterday, and today Carlos Alcaraz takes on Jannik Sinner in the men's championship, and the Riverhounds will take on Oakland this afternoon at 4. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Hey, my name is Nee Addy, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Philo. the TV streaming service that puts its audience first. What does that mean? It means no hidden fees and no long contracts. It means 24/7 customer support with real people. And it means the easiest and most affordable way to watch the stuff you love to watch. Live TV from networks like A&E, BET, Nickelodeon, and Discovery. All the groundbreaking blockbusters from AMC+. A huge library of movies and shows on demand that you can stream now or save to rewatch for up to a year and fast forward through commercials. We even have more than 100 channels that are always free, even if you pause or cancel your subscription. And the best part, TV shouldn't break the bank. So all of this is just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Check us out risk-free. That's philo.tv.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, with the way our government is spiraling out of control economically, you're going to see the president utilizing more government agencies and maybe even more of the military to do certain things that we just can't get done. You remember the Seabees and what they did during wartime? You know, they would be the construction team that would come in and, you know, do the airport, what have you. I honestly think that, like the old, you know, work program that FDR had to kind of rebuild America during the Depression, you know, concrete roads and things of that nature, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if a lot of that doesn't happen again in this country. Because you got people getting a government paycheck. You can't have them sitting around doing nothing. And we just don't have the resources. I mean, municipalities, boroughs, townships, cities, large and small, they don't have the money. They don't have the money even for snow removal. I mean, there are people right now who are running these communities that we love and respect and have such great memories in. And right now they're counting every single nickel they have. And they're saying, look, let's just hope and pray the Farmer's Almanac is wrong. And I got to tell you, I believe there are people in government that every time the weather starts to change and we roll into fall, they start thinking, please don't make it be a bad winter. I mean, think of the roads, the dilapidated roads and bridges and all the problems, and the potholes seem to get bigger every single year. We're running out of money. If many cases, we have no money. All right, 866-391-1020. Joanne, Point Breeze. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Rob. You know, when you forget your history, it's bound to repeat itself. When you have a criminal that's in charge of this country, spending our money, doing the White House, having all this big party and stuff, I just cannot respect this criminal who was convicted through our legal law system, and now he's trying to make everybody else pay for maybe their crime, and he won't pay for his. Insurrectionists, anytime you have somebody that's trying to take down this country, that all of a sudden. But anyway, I don't agree, because the thing that makes me mad, why are you using our system, and especially for the vets? If anything, they ought to increase the things that these vets, especially these people that went to Vietnam, and maybe before, if any of them are still living, there is no way that these vets should have to suffer and not get whatever they need as far as medical care. I'm sorry, he has no right to cut anything on the vets. So I don't know. I just don't agree with everything that this man's doing. First of all, you need to pay for your own crime.
All right, Joanne, I appreciate it. Look, I can't change the mindset. I can't. I've tried. I can't. All right, let's go to Ted, Mount Washington. Ted, good morning. How are you?
What's going on, Rob?
Sunday morning, feeling like football weather. Can't wait to go. Here we go.
Yes. Well, about the president, I think Joanne's on to something. Look, remember what Nikki Haley said? Everywhere he goes, chaos follows. Let me tell you something, Rob. The guy in the White House is a nut. Okay?
You know what? So we've only been on the air for 21 minutes. He's been called a criminal. He's been called a nut. Let's see if anybody can come up with the trifecta. Unbelievable. Somebody put something in the Cheerios of my audience this morning. Anyway, Ted, go ahead, man.
Nah. I'll just, like I said before, I told you I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Harris. Both parties suck. Okay, look, just listen what the guy's going to do. This guy's going to send troops in Chicago. 9 times out of 10, all chaos is going to break out, and people won't take it seriously until they start canceling NFL football games.
Yeah, but that governor, listen, don't push on this. Don't push on this guy. Find a way to meet him halfway. Make him feel as though it's his idea. If you start showing results, or you kind of reach out and do it in a respectful way, but it's Gavin Newsom, it's that governor, in Illinois, they just don't know how to handle this guy. This guy is not somebody you want to push on. You want to try to, beat him with his own words and beat him with kindness. I mean, it's just, people don't get it. They're pushing on this guy, and he's going to push back. He's going to send troops into Chicago. The way that governor's talking, it's going to happen.
Well, this guy's a bully. Okay, he's that typical New Yorker. Okay, he's rude, he's ignorant, and he shouldn't be president. This guy is not running the office the way he should be. Any real Republican would say, why in the world would I want to send troops into Chicago, which is a Democrat city, because I don't like sanctuary cities? Who's the same people in there said defund the police. Why would a Republican do that? This guy's not even a Republican.
This guy is a billionaire who kind of started the whole Hyatt hotel chain. So this guy's got money, too. This is just a show of force. These are two big egos banging heads. That's what's going on here.
No, Rob, this is not normal, Rob.
It's the new normal.
It's absolutely not normal.
It's the new normal. It has to be.
No, it's not. Well, Rob, look, January 6th, okay? This guy in office, Trump, was excited to see that kind of chaos at the White House.
Teddy, let's not go back to January 6th. It's 2025.
No,
it's 2025. Please, no.
Look, he's doing the same thing, but on a broader level. Okay? This guy wants chaos. And I'm being honest.
Well, we got it. We got it.
Look, it's not American. It's not normal. No president ever did this. And it is unlawful. It's unconstitutional. Okay? And it's political. All right? And I'll never forget the one politician said, look, and I agree with him, you got cops who are National Guardsmen. And when you take one off the street, you send them to another state, which it doesn't make any sense. He's going to lose cops. And I'm being honest, people are going to get hurt. And I'm being honest, here's my conspiracy theory. Here's how bad, to me, I think it's going to get. You're pretty much going to have an American general who's going to have to send troops into the White House to go get this nut. That's how bad it's going to get. And I'm going to be sitting on my porch laughing, saying, you know what? These folks are crazy.
Listen, we're talking like the Twilight Zone here. Listen, Teddy, he's the president of the United States. At least he's doing something. What we've been doing for decades isn't working. People are being gunned down in cold blood. I've talked about how many times I've come into work. A shooting. Something has to be done. If it was working, we would have not had to do anything, but it's not working. I've asked you, I've asked everyone who's pushed back. Nobody has an answer on how to stop this crime.
Well, you do have an answer.
What is it?
Okay, Rob, look, it's very simple. This is what's wrong with Pittsburgh and the rest of the areas. Your Wilkinsburg, all your boroughs, and this is what the late County Commissioner Rodney said. I'll never forget it. Most of these little counties do not want to merge to become metropolitans. Okay? That's a huge problem. Your Wilkinsburg, your Mount Lebanon, they do not want to do it. As long as they don't want to do it, they'll die out. And that's what's really going on around the region. They don't want to merge. And about Mount Lebanon, I don't want to merge because you have taxation without representation. Do you want the locals in Pittsburgh to make laws for you? Hell no. And people move away because of the environment. If you got money, everybody knows you're getting out the city. And that's why, like I said before, Beaver County's the way it is. They're going to have to merge. And all these other counties are going to have to merge. And they're going to be forced. The same thing you talk about the school districts. Of course they're going to have to merge. That's coming because you don't have the population anymore. But when you merge, guess what? You're going to get rid of pretty much all your politicians because they won't have a job. And that's the real story of what's going on.
I don't know. I don't
Rob,
buy
you
it.
do know.
I know how many people are being, and we had 54 people shot in Chicago in 3 days. 54 people shot. One died. It's a miracle that only one died. 54 people in 72 hours, Ted. That's insane.
No, it's not, Rob.
Oh,
Look,
my
what's
goodness.
insane is you have a president playing politics. It's political. Okay? Absolutely political. No president in right mind is going to send troops to, hey, we're going to go to blue cities. We're not going to go to Florida. We're not going to go to Texas, where their murder rate is up. It's political. It has nothing to do with saving lives. And that's what the both are playing politics. And people realize it. You know, it's a sad and shame because people are going to get killed. After get killed for nothing.
People are getting killed now, Teddy. They're getting killed now. I got all these other calls waiting in the wings. I got to get to them. But listen, you don't have a solution. Nobody has a solution. So let's just see if this works. No, that's not going to work, and you know it. That's been pontificated by how many administrations? That's not going to work, and you know it.
Why it won't work, Rob?
It won't. It won't. Because we don't even have people that want to grow up and want to be police officers anymore. I mean, they don't even want to be police officers anymore, Teddy.
Because of the pay. The benefits, it's not there. Pittsburgh has the lowest when it comes to pay. Okay?
But if you don't have the money, you don't have the money, and we're trying to create jobs, and there's pushback even on jobs. I mean, because manufacturers are afraid to come here because they get pushed back in Allegheny County by the EPA all the time and others. I mean, it's the reason why that Shell cracker plant could be sold, because people just can't leave well enough alone. They will not let progress happen. And unless you let progress happen, you're going to continue to have the lack of funds to support education, to support infrastructure, to support law enforcement. And what's going to happen eventually, not only are you going to have crumbling houses, roads, and bridges, but morally, people are going to continue to do crime because they can't get a job. People are going to become addicted to drugs because they're depressed, because they can't get a job. Their family is breaking up. I'm telling you, it's a vicious cycle, Teddy. I appreciate the debate, but the only way is to test something new. And I think that's all he's trying to do. He just wants to test something new. I got lots of folks. Phones are stacked. I'll get to all of you on the other side. I think Mary Hours is here today. KDKA Television First Alert Forecast. We'll check in with her. Feeling like fall weather. And it should. Football season is here. Steelers getting ready to take on the Jets at 1 o'clock. All right, let's get to a break. The news, just about a minute away from CBS, then we'll get right back at it. It's your Pratt Pack. It's a Sunday morning, game day, right here on KDK. Good morning.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Go between the hash marks and get your football fix every Thursday evening at 6 with the Bowser Chevrolet Quest for the Best High School Football Show live from Dave & Buster's. Dan Zangrilli and the Dean of High School Sports, Mike White, break it all down. It's powered by Bowser Chevrolet and brought to you by Diulis Law and by Guardian Protection, your hometown home and business security company. Only on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. We have a winner. Actually, two winners in the Powerball. Here's CBS's Stacey Lynn.
Two winning tickets in Missouri and Texas matched all six numbers. They'll split a jackpot of close to $1.8 billion, the second highest U.S. lottery jackpot ever.
Aryna Sabalenka has won the U.S. Open final in women's tennis tournament at the U.S. Open.
The world's #1 women's tennis player defeated American Amanda Anisimova 6-3, 7-6 to become the first back-to-back U.S. Open winner since Serena Williams 11 years ago.
CBS's Jerika Duncan. Pope Leo has canonized 2 saints in the first canonization for the new pontiff. Carlos Acutis has become the first millennial saint for his efforts to spread the Catholic faith online. He's informally known as God's influencer. Also canonized Pier Giorgio Frassati. CBS News Brief.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
The KDKA AccuWeather Forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today will bring a cool but nice end to the weekend with just a few clouds around at times and a high of 68, leading to a clear and downright cold night tonight, low 43. That does lead to a warmer day tomorrow with sunshine and a high of 72, followed by a sunny and slightly warmer Tuesday, high 76. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, let me tell you what's on the show today. We got Tech Vibe Radio coming up. It'll be, of course, Audrey Russo, CEO of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and Jonathan Kirsting. And then at 7 o'clock, Doug is back from his vacation to the West Coast, back to the East Coast, and he's here with the Organic Gardener, and that fall planting season is just around the bend, so that's one of the many topic of conversations. And he's going to be talking a lot about stuff that you just need to hear, and also some tips and tricks and ideas for you when it comes to wrapping up the garden and obviously fall planting. So Doug will be here today at 7. 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Frank Dentisi on the Coons Cooking Hour about breakfast. But today's spin, from home fries to eggs, scrambled, fried, sunny side up, you name it. We'll talk about it all. Your favorite way to make toast and bacon and fried bologna and more. Oh my, oatmeal, pancakes, waffles. We're going to talk about why breakfast just isn't for mornings anymore. People doing it at noon or night. We're going to be talking breakfast today. And then at 9 o'clock, Dr. Sean Ritchie, they have helped thousands of people with neuropathy, tri-state neuropathy centers with all those locations throughout the tri-state. He'll be here today. And then it's Accurate Solutions. And got a big Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Obviously, this is week 1 of the National Football League. So that means, believe it or not, I think it's like our 25th, 26th season of picking our weekly winners against the spread. And that's coming up today with Ted Arnaud, Greg Diolis, and me. So really looking forward to that. And also we got a new sponsor, Mike Leon, Leon's Billiards and More. So I want to welcome them aboard as well. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. So we are jam-packed today with all sorts of good stuff. So I hope you'll stick with me up until 1 o'clock today. The thing that really amazes me about our country, and I'm getting this vibe more and more and more. I've seen it with mayoral candidates running for election. People only having an argument because they just don't like that person, not on issues. I've seen it gubernatorial races. Matter of fact, Stacey Garrity, the treasurer of Pennsylvania, who's running as a Republican gubernatorial race and obviously will be challenging the incumbent governor, Josh Shapiro. She's going to be here Tuesday night, so we'll have a chance to get caught up with her about some of the big issues in Pennsylvania. But the issues to me have always been economy first and last. Jobs first, jobs last. And for some reason, we get caught up in so much of this anger and mudslinging that we don't get a chance to really ever get anything done. And what's starting to concern me, because finally we have somebody in office who's actually getting up every day with a single purpose, trying to take care of the citizenship of this country and make our country stronger by building it from the inside out, right? But there is such a divide in this country right now. And I see it at all levels, whether it's a mayoral race, whether it's a gubernatorial race, anything in the legislature, the state senate, U.S. Senate, even in the smallest communities, municipalities, boroughs, places that have like 8 to 10,000 population. It's just anger. It's ugliness. And so much of the negative takes place that what happens, you never have any way to get something good done. And as much as I want to blame our country for not replacing all of the manufacturing that left here and began to leave here in the late 70s and early 80s, and now almost a half a century later, is because of the infighting. We have done nothing but fight with one another for the last 50 years. And when that happens, so here's what happens. You go to a political cycle, right? Usually about a year before the general election. And you have people that debate, but it becomes a shouting match. And then you have people finding out stuff about something somebody did 5-10 years ago, which in the big picture, for the most part, doesn't matter because, you point one finger, 1,000 fingers are pointing back at you, okay? And then you get to the election, and basically people cast their vote on just anger. They don't cast their vote on issues. They cast their vote on anger. And then what happens? A person gets elected, and right away, before they even get sworn in and before they become that person in the first of the following year, you have about 2 weeks of just people decompressing. And then the anger ramps up, and then it turns into mudslinging, and then it comes into basically what I believe on the verge of slander. And in many cases, if somebody wanted to push it, it could actually be slander. And then you get that person in office, and they start coming at him or her, like we saw with President Trump in 2016 when he had the travel ban. He steps off the podium from the inauguration and let the lawsuits begin, and we got nothing done. And it led up to him leaving in a bad way. The insurrection, January 6th, continue talk about a fraud, a fixed election, fake news, and then it goes on and on and on. So what does he do the 4 years he's out? He fights legal battle after legal battle, indictment after indictment. And then finally, the election takes place. He doesn't do a single debate, just keeps talking issue after issue after issue. People want a change, obviously, because what we've been doing, especially with law enforcement, just one example, sadly, it's not working. He wants to shake things up. He's found out how to maneuver Washington by hiring good people around him, and we've mentioned many of them before. His administration is strong. Rubio, Levitt, Pam Bondi. I mean, these people, Hegseth, I'm kind of lukewarm on him, but I'm starting to like a little bit more of him every day. And he's finally had time to be a president. Finally have had a chance to go out and do things. He started off with Doge. That kind of got the ball rolling. Then he jumped in with the tariffs. That was even a bigger step forward. Now he's trying to fight crime. He's looking at government agencies that are bloated with way too much money, and they're not doing enough. He puts Robert Kennedy Jr. in there. Robert Kennedy Jr. is trying to actually save people's lives, but now the pushback has begun on him. You watch. They're going to start going after him because they can't get to President Trump. Even members of RFK Jr.'s family are attacking him. So what I'm trying to tell you, this is the political process in the country we live in. This is what America has become. And sadly, we all continue to do just that year after year, election cycle after election cycle. And what happens in the end? We basically find ourselves in the same predicament year in, year out, term after term after term. And then we find ourselves 50 years later with nothing accomplished and trillions more in debt. So finally you have somebody in office who's trying to make a difference, and people simply won't let him. Listen, I'm a Democrat. I will always be a Democrat. This is not a party-first country anymore. It can't be. If all of us continue to vote party line, especially with what the Democrats have given us in recent years at all levels, it's just not going to work. And I'm not switching parties. I just want the Democratic Party that I remember, truly for the working class people of America. I don't see that anymore, and it saddens me. I'm going to get to your calls. I just got to get this off my chest. If we don't start looking for the individual, the man or woman who can actually create jobs first, jobs last, help our workforce get cash Generational wealth paychecks. I say it over and over. It took me a year to finally get to the finish line with Nippon and U.S. Steel. And we're praying for those victims. We're praying for the injured. We're praying for the community. We want it to get better. We want it to get better, but we also have to move forward because the nation needs to roll up its sleeves and go back to work. If we don't do that, if we do not do that, we're never going to get back to fiscal sanity or any kind of sanity in America. All right, I was waiting for Mary Hours before I got back to all these calls, so let's get to her. Meteorologist on duty, First Alert Forecast. So fall has shown up. So before we get to that, Savannah Bananas, I love them. You were like in the spotlight. What was that madness like? It must have been a blast. Good morning.
Oh, it was probably like the most comfortable and most excited I've ever actually felt singing a national anthem. And I think like because how fun it was and like I knew everyone was just like, you know, there to have fun and they were singing, they were dancing. I was just like, it was just in my element. It wasn't like a so serious, like, I don't know. Whenever I sang at other places, I'm not nervous, but just like, I don't know. It was different, for sure.
It is different. It's maddening, and I absolutely love it. And I plugged to them long before they became this phenomenon. But why do you think people come in such large numbers to witness them? What is it about them? I mean, you're an entertainer, you know. What do you think it is?
Oh, it's the heartthrob boys that are all over TikTok. I think it's, it's like, I think it's KJ and like Jackson Olsen, and they have a clothing line and they do all the dances on social media. And I think it's that. I think it's the flipping, it's the dances, it's the trends, and I mean most of the audience like are women and children. I feel like
that's good.
There are obviously a lot of guys that go too, but it's super cool. I like it more than a regular baseball game, that's for sure.
Well, they got the groove, they got the funk, they can do that. But can they play baseball? That's what I want to know.
Okay, do you want me to tell you what my husband said?
Yeah, what did he say?
He was like, I wouldn't go again if you weren't singing. He was like, those boys cannot play baseball. I'm like, babe, I was like, yeah, they can. He was like, my husband's a huge sports guy, like knows so much about sports, played baseball, played basketball, and he's like, if they're not going to sell out a stadium in 3 years if they don't get someone that can hit some dingers out of the park. He goes, that was not baseball. He goes, they can flip and catch a ball, sure, and throw it. He goes, but nobody hit the ball. He goes, nobody even scored. And I was like, babe, as long as they have those little heartthrob boys there, they will sell out stadiums because people will pay the amount that they, like the $40 to $60 for a ticket to go see these TikTok stars. You know, they're like these extremely famous people and they know everyone on the team. So I was like, it's still going to happen because they're just going to get another person who's extremely famous and big on TikTok that can do all of that stuff. And I was like, oh, they're still on. They're still going to keep doing this.
Well, let me tell you, you hit the nail on the head. It's social media. That's what has made the Savannah Bananas a national phenomenon. Absolutely. All right, listen, 5-day forecast. It's feeling like fall. Is it going to be like this all week?
Oh, it is, and it's absolutely beautiful outside right now. A big full moon, and today it'll be mostly sunny, low 70s. There may be like a little sprinkle around later for areas north of Pittsburgh in the afternoon, but nothing crazy, more so a nuisance if anything. We're clear tonight in the upper 40s, Monday, mid-70s, Monday, mid-70s, Tuesday, near 80, Wednesday, low 80s and sunny. Thursday, low 80s and sunny. I mean, we are in a gorgeous trend. Friday, Saturday also looks perfect. So we need the rain, but it's still dry and sunny.
Sounds good. Listen, good to have you back for a few more weeks on the weekend. Enjoy. Have a great day.
It'll be a while.
Really? Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm scheduled through the end of the year, so we'll be spending a lot of Sundays together.
Well, that makes me happy. Listen, enjoy your day.
Thanks, you do.
All right, there she goes. Mary Hours, the pride of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. All right, short break. I'm going to get to every single one of these calls. I got Rob, George, Ken. I get frustrated sometimes because I really want to see America move forward. And you don't have to agree with me, but we got to keep moving forward. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. School football yesterday, the Central Catholic Vikings take down the Woodland Hill Wolverines 58-20 at the Pro Football Hall of Fame School Classic game, heard, of course, here on KDKA Radio. A deadline deal. Steelers Cam Hayward reached agreement last night on a revised deal that will add over $3 million in incentives this year and could allow him to earn up as much as $18 million. Steelers kick off the season today at the Jets, where they are a 3-point favorite. It was the University of Pittsburgh Panthers getting 3 touchdown passes from Eli Holstein, and they won by 28 points, 45-17 over Central Michigan. Penn State over Florida International 34-0. Ohio State shut out Grambling 70-0. West Virginia lost to Ohio University 17-10. Robert Morris lost to YSU 56-17, and Duquesne beat Lincoln University 55-14. Jerry Schmidt of the Dukes today at 11:30 on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Pirates lost yesterday to Milwaukee 4-1. 2 teams again today, 135, 93-7 the Fans. World number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, won the U.S. Open yesterday, and today Carlos Alcaraz takes on Jannik Sinner in the men's championship, and the Riverhounds will take on Oakland this afternoon at 4. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer online. Get NordVPN today with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic and help you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
We were the Humane Society of the United States. 70 years of fighting for animals. Today, we are called Humane World for Animals, a name that reflects our unstoppable commitment to end animal cruelty globally. Humane World for Animals, the end of animal cruelty.
Where Pittsburgh comes to talk. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, the hour's flying by. Next hour, Tech Vibe Radio, and then 7 o'clock, Doug Oster, the Organic Gardener. 8 o'clock, Frank Dentisi, the Coons Cooking Hour. 9 o'clock, Dr. Sean Ritchie, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Okay, let's get to Rob in Plum. Hey, Rob, thanks for holding on. Good morning.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you for taking my call. I want to tell you, what Trump's doing is the right thing. He's out there trying to create jobs. There's going to be about 10 to 20 jobs created once he sends these troops in. And that's what people don't understand. You've got to become your own entrepreneur. Heck with, going there and working a 9 to 5 at a regular office job. You got to think entrepreneurship. And that's what I don't hear in your audience. All I hear is this crying about how we got to get a job. Create your own job. Nobody's stopping you. I mean, go out there and figure out what you want to do. Look, you're going to be able to get power washing to clean up the place. You're going to get cameras to get in that place. You're going to have 20 million books out there telling you how to do it. Go to the library. Go talk to someone who's an entrepreneur. And just start off small and let's build. There's nobody stopping you. I mean, I think the problem is most people have been conditioned, I got to get a job. I got to write up a resume. I don't want to get a job. I don't want to get a resume. I already got my jobs. And I get more. I'm actually thinking about starting another company there. That's what you got to do, Rob, in today's world.
Sounds good. Listen, I got lots of calls. I got to get to them. Let's move on. Let's go to George in Clareton. Hey, George.
Hey, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. You know, we don't agree on much, and I've listened to you for many years. I listen to Ted, too. Ted is spot on. I hate that word, too, because Marty uses it all the time. But this man is doing everything he can to provoke what he's going to get, and his end result is going to be what he's already shown he's capable of. I don't even know who called in yet, because I rated him on relatively low, and I woke up to Ted's melodic voice. But I don't know who called ahead of him. I don't even know what time it is. I imagine it's a little after 5:30. But you changed the name to Department of War. That's non-inflammatory? I couldn't even get a COVID shot until yesterday because of guess who? Okay? I also got an RSV and I got a flu shot. And guess what, Trumpers and anti-vaxxers? I got my 3. And we're going to cut back on everything science has given us for hundreds of years. hundreds of years. This country's been around for 250. It ain't going to go much further. We're going to induce all these diseases that have stopped over the years. They're going to come back. It happened to tuberculosis back in 1988, 89. I used to wake up early, and I had a TV that I watched TV. I watched something called Lifeline, not that Lifetime, where every man's a rapist, but Lifetime was where doctors used to get together and they talked about how they dropped the ball under the Reagan administration when all funds were cut and funds were never even started up when HIV was just taking foothold. This is history repeating itself, and history does repeat itself because humans are complacent. They'll talk about all these other frivolous things. They'll talk about money over everything, over substance.
All right, Georgie, I got to move on, man. I got lots of callers here, and there's some good movies there, and they're not all negative like that. Come on. Let's go to Ken, Lower Borough. Ken, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me, Rob?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want a quick shout out to Nancy's friend that said you got to listen to Ken in the mornings, the weekend. I don't even know who this woman is. But anyway, I gave you some facts yesterday, which you weren't really too happy about with Shapiro. I did see where Newsom's steadily going up in the polls. But you do
we
have
talked about
another
that many
Democrat that's sitting at 9 and 10% in every freaking poll, and that's AOC. And I'll tell you what, if AOC goes with Newsom, at my opinion right now, because like I said, my strategist is seeing this could be the end of the Democratic Party. And like I said,
the end of our country.
Exactly. And what, like I said, I have people I work for. The two of them are women, hardcore Democrats. One of them tells me about her relatives that have been shot in different cities, and one of them was killed, and I'll call her Miss S, and then the other one's Miss L. She's at the high end. No matter what you can tell her, or tell her numbers on stuff, on death rates, on with the minorities and whites, she won't believe you. She said, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at the long objective. I mean, you're looking at a guy with Trump at this point in time that's trying to help everyone. And I just, the stuff I see on the streets, another lady that delivers newspapers while I'm cutting grass, I talked to her. I said, how's business? She goes, terrible. I said, what's going on? I said, because of the price of the paper? She said, no. This paper here doesn't have enough information about Donald Trump. People are quitting because of that. This radio station went left for a while. They're coming back finally to the middle, and you have to admit that. But you know, now your ratings are starting to go up, and I do know that. Like I said, it's getting to be the people that are entrenched. You're not going to convince them. That's fine, but actions are louder than words. So it's just going to take more and more actions that this president and these administrations do. I mean, if he does go into a Republican area, city that needs help with crime, and their crime rate's medium to low, it may be non-existent. I mean, how do you fight that? I mean, the Democrats are on the losing end of every fight out there. And what I'm seeing on the streets, I mean, I understand inflation is still a little high. It's been, I was the first one to complain under Biden. And you know what? I wish the price of gas was $2 a gallon. Because you know what? It's going to come down. It has to. Because this country can't sustain at these prices. And you know what? Josh Shapiro is going to have to do something with this gas tax because it's actually hurting the people here. He knows it. He hasn't done anything. He could have had a 6-week, 8-week moratorium on it, especially going into winter. This man has to be a leader. That's why his poll numbers are non-existent on some of these polls. You can't ride the fence in this economy. You can't. You have to be out for the American people. And I'm sorry, Josh Shapiro is not. He's not for the people of Pennsylvania. I wish he was. I would have voted for him if he was. But he's not. You can see that. His small groups of people that show up to his meetings, he goes to his Democratic strongholds, Pittsburgh and Philly. You gotta kiss the ring of the base, and you know what? The rest of the state he doesn't care about.
All right, I got to get one more caller in here. Let's go to George and Butler. George, couple of minutes, all yours, sir. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. I can tell you from being in business for myself since I was 16, and I'm now 75. I have observed lots of stuff over the years. And the reason a lot of people look at the people that do. They come in from foreign countries because they want to work, they want to bust their rear ends, they want to make a life for their kids, all right? People I have working for me. Okay, people say they're good people. You know, first thing they do, they come in the morning, a 15-minute water cooler break, bathroom break, then they leisurely get to work, then they take their lunch break, but before that they go to the bathroom again for 15 minutes, then they take an hour for lunch, then they come back from lunch, and they don't eat lunch, they cook their lunch after they come back from break. Another 15 minutes, then things happen during the day, same things before the end of the day, before they leave.
Well, you know, George, we've been talking a lot about work ethic of late on my evening show throughout the week. So, listen, I'm out of time, but if you want to call back during the week, I'd love to hear you. Yeah, we'll be back this week, 6 o'clock until 10. We've got lots of great guests lined up, including gubernatorial candidate. She is the state treasurer, Stacey Garrity, who will be with me on Tuesday night. All right, meantime, sit back, relax. Lots of good stuff still to come today. Rob Taylor is ready to bring you that look at news just 2 minutes away at 6. And then Tech Vibe Radio with Audrey Russo, Jonathan Kirsting. 7 o'clock, Doug will be here today. The organic gardener, fall planning on his mind and other things, just back from California. 8 o'clock, Frank and I, Coons Cooking, our breakfast, not just for mornings, but noon and evening time as well. And then Dr. Sean Ritchie, the Tri-State Neuropathy Center, will be here coming up today at 9 o'clock. Accurate Solutions at 10. And then the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, week 1, as we pick our weekly winners against the spread, as the Steelers are a 3-point favorite at the Jets for a 1 o'clock kickoff. It's your Pratt Pack. Great to be here today. Good morning.
Wednesday night at 10, join us for I'm Listening, a special Odyssey program featuring some of the biggest names in news, sports, and music, and some of the most respected mental health professionals. Hosted by Carson Daly with Katie Neal. Talk saves lives. For more information, visit imlistening.org, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Who are the youth who lead with purpose, innovate with passion, and inspire everyone in your community? Junior Achievement in Western Pennsylvania is searching for their next class of exceptional young leaders for JA's 18 Under 18, presented by the EQT Foundation. Know a young person who is making an impact? Nominations are open for the 2026 class, ages 18 years or younger. Submit your nomination by September 30th to see them honored on February 3rd, 2026 at Acrisure Stadium. Nominate a young leader today at jawesternpa.org.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 54 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 people have died after 2 separate incidents involving a vehicle in Indiana County. First incident happened around 4 o'clock Friday afternoon at the intersection of State Route 22 and Resort Plaza Drive in Borough Township. Police say a vehicle ran a red light at that intersection and then struck another vehicle, and one of the passengers in that second vehicle was 102-year-old Mary Lutz of Avonmore, Westmoreland County. She was transported to the hospital but died of her injuries. The other 2 people in the vehicle were taken to the hospital for their injuries. Right now, it's unclear if any charges will be filed against the driver who police say ran the red light. And just before midnight Friday on Old Route 119 Highway South in White Township, a 30-year-old man was struck by a vehicle driven by a 16-year-old male. Police say the 30-year-old was lying on his back in the southbound lane of Old Route 119 Highway South. When he was struck, he died at the scene. He's been identified as Brian Boyd of Homer City. State police announced on Saturday they're charging Butler County EMT Nathan Mitchell with sexual assault by a sports official, indecent assault, and endangering the welfare of children. This comes following an investigation of an incident from August the 24th in which police say he sexually assaulted underage children. Mitchell is currently on leave from the Quality Emergency Medical Services Company. That investigation continues. Well, President Trump is vowing to send National Guard troops to more U.S. cities. Here's CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette.
In Chicago, protesters demonstrated against ICE immigration raids, but a greater federal presence in the city is also of concern for many of them.
There is a genuine fear of what President Trump is going to do next.
The president reposted a meme on social media Saturday, writing, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." The image of the president with Chicago burning behind him parodies the movie Apocalypse Now.
There were finally some winners of the massive Powerball jackpot. Here's CBS's Stacey Lynn.
There were 2 winning tickets in Missouri